What's up, guys? So before we get into this video, I want to give a quick moment of silence for Google Stadia. Right. Well, it was a nice run, guys. Google Stadia is no more. And this recent article goes into a little bit more detail, so let's jump right in. The headline, Google is shutting down Stadia officially, and they are refunding all Stadia purchases, whether it's hardware, software, and DLC content. Members of the Stadia team will be carrying this work forward in other departments at Google. Are any of you guys surprised? I'm personally not. I think the writing was on the wall a while ago. Google Stadia didn't have the best launch, and it seems like throughout the past, year or two since the product has been out, adoption hasn't been great, and there just hasn't really been a whole lot on it. Just to give you guys a little bit of context, I worked on this partnership in my previous role and had some insights into it, and we were pretty optimistic about it. The team thought it was a great opportunity to really test something in the cloud gaming space, but honestly, it's a little sad to see that it hasn't really worked out, and it looks like the Google team is cutting their losses and moving on. But let's jump into the article. It says that Google is shutting down Stadia and will remain live until January 18th, so you've got a few more months to use the service. Google expects those refunds will be completed in mid-January. Let's just jump right into the blog post here, a message about Stadia and our long-term streaming strategy. And this is from the Google Stadia Vice President, Phil Harrison. All right, so I'm not going to jump into all of this, but it looks like he's basically saying that it hasn't gained traction with users that we expected, so we've made the difficult decision to begin winding down our Stadia streaming service. And I think the writing was on the wall a couple months ago when they decided to not produce any more first-party content, and now they're deciding, hey, it's just not worth it to even maintain the service because it's just not generating the growth that we expect. And my initial thought on this, guys, is the fact that Google is a company that has a lot of great ideas. They have this concept called moonshots, where they'll aim for the moon, and sometimes those risks will pay off, and sometimes they don't. And we've seen this in the past with things like Google Glass, where they made it available for a certain number of customers. Ultimately, the product didn't work out, and so they decided to shut it down. But I can almost guarantee you guys that Google had a lot of learnings and insights from that experiment that they will apply to the next Glass product or next type of virtual reality, augmented reality service. So be assured that the key learnings from cloud gaming and the Stadia will continue to live in other areas within Google. Now, the question of whether they will try to enter the cloud gaming market again at some point in the future, that's to be seen. But Google's a company that has almost unlimited resources. They've got a very talented team there, so I would not be surprised if they decided to come back maybe a little bit later on down the road once the technology has really matured and that there's a real sort of product market fit where people are asking for this service, because I think that was one of the main concerns with Stadia to begin with, is the fact that there just really wasn't an ask from gamers for something like this. It was more of a niche, sort of a gimmick that I think had potential, but people just didn't really ask for it. And so that was one of the big mistakes I think Stadia had. Let's continue the article. It says that employees on the Stadia team will be distributed to other parts of the company. So that's good. It looks like they're not going to lay off the entire team and cut everybody. So Harrison says Google sees opportunities to apply Stadia's technology to other parts of Google, like YouTube, Google Play, and its AR efforts. And the company also plans to make it available to our industry partners, which aligns with where we see the future of gaming headed. So it's not a complete waste. And like I mentioned, they're going to take those key learnings and apply it elsewhere within the company, but then also share it with some of their key partners. Now, in terms of the finer details, Stadia Pro subscriptions will not be eligible for a refund, but you will not be charged during the shutdown period and can access games you might have redeemed as a Pro user. All right. So Google has closed the Stadia store, so you can't buy games or in-game transactions, which I think is the right thing to do. And it also kind of talks about some of the other competitors out there that are also facing an uncertain market with their cloud gaming. Yeah, guys, cloud gaming is one of those things I talked about before that, is there really a need for it? When I think about Google Stadia, one of their key value propositions to begin with was the fact that you could play a game on your phone, you could play it on your TV, you could play it anywhere within your house at any given time. And if you have a good enough internet connection, you could take it on the road with you, and you can play it on the bus, on the subway, while you're in a car or whatever, and you can enjoy your games anytime, anywhere. And I think the idea and the premise sounded good. But when you think about mobile gaming today, a lot of games on the mobile devices are so mature now, and with 5G technology, you can already do that today. Also, with console gaming being as good as it is, and the fact that most people have these high-speed internet connections that allows them to play games with people around the world at any given time, already kind of checks that box off for them. So in essence, Stadia wasn't really bringing anything new. Plus, they didn't have a whole lot of killer exclusive titles at launch or even throughout their life cycle to really capture the attention of gamers and bring them onto the platform. And so I think there were definitely mistakes that the Google team took away from this experiment. And I think they're going to learn from it, hopefully. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the industry? Amazon's got Amazon Luna. Microsoft has Xbox Cloud Gaming. Nvidia, I think, also has, GeForce Now, which is their cloud gaming platform. I think time will tell whether these other companies decide to wrap up their service or if they continue to invest and, take it where it needs to go. But the fact that a titan like Google is deciding to bow out of the competition and not really invest too much more time or effort or resources into this is a sign that maybe cloud gaming is just not ready for the market or not enough people are asking for the service. Honestly, I think for gamers and for consumers, I don't think this is a huge loss because it's not really impacting that many people to begin with. And, console gaming and PC gaming is here to stay. And I think it's only going to continue to grow. So those are my thoughts on it. As a gamer myself, it's sad to see it, but it's good to see that people who worked on this project are going to go off and do other things. So I'm not too worried about that. But I think this is just a lesson. Sometimes you might have something really cool, some really innovative technology that's really disrupting the industry. But if you don't have people asking for it and you don't have the right product market fit, it's not really meant to be. So it's a great lesson for us all. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Are you guys sad about Google Stadia shutting down? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video and we'll catch you guys in the next one.